Short story by Paul McCann. The Scarecrow Who Cared. The little path wound around Wolf Hill. It was loved by people in Strawberry Village. In the spring it was custom for the unmarried ladies to collect some wildflowers and present them to a bachelor of their choice. One of the prettiest girls in the Strawberry Village was Serena, who only picked wildflowers for Scram. There were many lonely hearts in the village, just wishing for a bunch of flowers from Serena, but each year the story was the same. Serena's flowers were placed in the hat of Scram, the Scarecrow. Serena was the only child of Mr. and Mrs. Robinson, who were renowned for making the best strawberry jam in all of the land, and their daughter devoted most of her time to weeding and cultivating the strawberry crops. Serena worked very hard every day and loved to whisper her thoughts to Scram, who stood in the field that was directly in front of her bedroom window. Serena shared some of her wildest dreams with Scram, and often sang little songs she made up to him. She had known Scram most of her life, and each year since decorated him with a set of new clothes and pretty wildflowers in his hat. This spring was like no other. It was magic, for one reason only, and that was because Scram came to life. Wardy hated Serena because of her beauty and her popularity with all of the little folk around. She wanted Serena to suffer and plan an end to her happiness once and for all. Wardy had an evil plan brewing, and as soon as spring was over and autumn came calling, she would put her plan into action. It was Halloween night when Wardy flew off on her broomstick to capture Serena. The wicked witch was going to make everybody pay. Scram watched as Wardy burst through Serena's bedroom window and heard her wicked laugh as she woke Serena.
You're not so pretty when you're frightened, little one, are you? Now you're coming with me.
Wardy's envy and want for the beauty and popularity of another made her so twisted that she was blind to everything around her. As she snatched Serena from her bed in a fury, she never noticed Scram, who was following close behind. As Wardy flew back to her hut at the top of Wolf Hill, Scram made his way around the path and hid behind a bush as Wardy landed on her broomstick. She tied Serena's hands behind her back and took her down the secret steps inside the old water well at the top of Wolf Hill. Scram could hear the echo from the bottom of the well.
No one will ever see you, your beauty, again.
Wardy returned from the dungeon of the dry well and looked around as she haggled and gaggled. Then she wriggled and giggled and hagged and nagged all the way back to her den. Scram was very angry, but he knew he had to keep calm and think what the best action was to take to rescue Serena and to put an end to Wardy and her evil deeds once and for all. Because of all of the time that Serena spent and the love that she had given to Scram over the years, it had an effect, and something special began to happen. At first Scram began to be heard, and then to be seen, at last moving. It was only at night, though. when the world slept that Scram really came to life. He sang the tune Serena had sung to him, and he danced in the field until the dawn. When the sun rose, Scram stood still in the field where his post was to be, watching over the strawberries. Scram had many friends who visited him in the field. One of Scram's best friends was Whitty the Wise White Owl from Barney's barn. Whitty often perched on his shoulders at night and kept him informed of all the news around and from the barn. Sometimes Whitty put puzzles in Scram's ear that were meant to tease him and quiz his extraordinary mind. Whitty was amazed at how clever Scram was. Scram, of course, never let on that during the day, when Whitty was asleep, Gypsy, the chicken, who were out scratching, or the Des, the duck, who would be out waddling, or Pogo, the pig, who would be poking around, or Catty the cow, who would often be mooing around, or even Barb the sheep, or Dwarfy the rabbit, or Chirper the grasshopper, or Furry the mouse, or even Mabel the mouse, who would come to tell him the answers. Someone always knew the answer, and no one liked to see Scram stuck, because Serena and Sam were best friends. Everyone loved Serena. That is, everyone except for Wardy Greenskin, the wicked witch who lived in her den at the top of Wolf Hill. Scram made his way to the wooden hut and went over to the window. Pushing away the cobwebs, Scram peered through the dirty, cracked window. Inside the hut, Wardy croaked a song as she poked the hot coals in her fireplace. Her pet spiders hung from the ceiling, and the green lizards lay around the dusty floor like slippers crawling out for feet. Carved out faces on hollowed out pumpkins sat on tables with candles burning inside, and weird shadows danced on the walls like a crazy mixed up army looking for a war on Halloween night. Outside, Scram moved away from the window and felt some of the straw falling out from his arms and his legs. He slowly made his way to the well, and as the full moon shone down, Scram began to feel saggy. His trousers became baggy, and his sadness grew. More and more straw fell out from his clothes. The anger he had felt had now turned into sadness, and the sadder he got, the more straw he lost. The more straw he lost, the weaker he became. Finally, Scram fell in a ball on the ground and lay there. Suddenly, Scram heard a familiar sound. "Come on, Scram. Don't fear, because Whitty is here." Scram jumped to his feet. "Please, help. Serena is a prisoner in the well." "Tell me what to do, Scram." "Wake up everyone in Barney's barn and bring them here right away. Tell them Scram and Serena are in trouble." While Whitty was away, Scram thought hard and put a plan together. One by one up the road around Wolf Hill came the farmyard animals. When everyone arrived at the top of Wolf Hill, they gathered around Scram and listened as he told them the story of how Serena was kidnapped and put into the well. Even though all the animals feared the wicked witch, Scram gave them the courage to fight. So on this cold Halloween night, standing under the full moon, Scram told them his plan of attack and what each one had to do. Outside the witch's hut, all the animals took up their positions. The trap was almost laid, as Farmer Fagin's black bull stood at the ready with his horns gleaming in the light of the moon. The small army of animals were ready. Scram knocked upon the door and said, "Oh, I just wanted to say goodbye to you. It's me, Serena, and I've got to go home now. It was nice to meet you, Hagface." Wardy came rushing out of her hut and screamed. It was all over in a matter of seconds. She hadn't time to cast a single spell. Scram ran towards the well with Wardy close behind, and then Fagin's bull emerged from behind the well and with its head down and its horns showing, charged at the wicked witch. Wardy was sent spinning, head first up in the air, and then slam dunk down she went into the deep hole, and a few moments later the screams of the wicked witch were heard no more. Scram, who was fast asleep now almost with tiredness, managed to get the strength to go over and take Serena and carry her all the way down the road back to her home and set her back in her bed. With Serena, as the morning came, she woke up and thought it had all been just a bad dream. After breakfast she went out to the field and was knocked and shocked at the state of poor Scram the Scarecrow. It took her all of the day to stuff back into his arms and legs the straw that was missing. What a state he was in. During the time she was working with Scram, she told him all about her dream the night before. And when she finished, she told him how happy that she was, and how well that he looked with his new straw. With work to be done in the strawberry field, Serena now walked away, and as she did, she never saw Scram smiling and waving goodbye. She was now too far off to hear Scram sing the song about the Scarecrow who loved the princess of the strawberry fields. The end.